Hi, welcome to Senior Solutions. I'm your host, Karen Halloran from Azure Healthcare. Today we have on the show Kevin Williams from FCP Live-In.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on the show. It's great to see you.
My pleasure.
So why don't we just get right into it and you tell us what FCP is?
Sure. FCP Live-In, we've been around for 27 years, and all we do is supply live-in caregivers for people to stay home safely, whether it be after a situation where they might have had surgery, they might have had something happen that caused them to go to a skilled nursing facility for rehab, anything that might come up. We have caregivers from all over the country that we employ. We bring them in and they physically move in the home.
Oh, that's great, because a lot of times families just can't be there 24/7. If the person needs
Correct.
the care, you know, there's a couple of other solutions, but this sounds like a really good one. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your background, how you started with FCP?
Sure.
Live-In?
I'm actually a nurse. I've been a nurse in this region for 18, 19 years now. And I was director of nurses at a facility when they found me and told me what they did, asked me to come work for them, and I loved the concept. So I jumped ship. I've been with them a little over 3.5 years, and I actually help more people doing this than I ever did in other forms of nursing that I've done.
Isn't that great? Must be very rewarding.
It is, absolutely. I've had a lot of people come up to me over the years. Being a nurse for that long, I've never had anybody say, boy, I can't wait to move into a facility. So
No,
it's,
exactly.
it's very rewarding.
People want to stay home.
They do.
So what services do you provide?
In the home, we have caregivers that will move in. They take care of the cooking, the cleaning, any of the personal care, toileting, bathing, dressing, anything of that nature. They will take care of the laundry. If you want a driver, you can request that. There's no additional cost, and they will drive them to doctor's appointments, social visits, whatever the case might be. And if you're using any type of in-home equipment, a Hoyer lift, sit to stand, any of those type devices, we will also utilize those in the home as well.
That's fantastic.
Thank you.
One thing you mentioned is about staffing. Now, staffing is challenging everywhere in healthcare right now. How are you staying up with that?
Especially in this region, certain states more so than others, but staffing has been a nightmare long before COVID hit. COVID unfortunately made it infinitely worse. But we recruit nationally, so we have caregivers that come in from all over the United States that we employ. They are licensed, bonded, insured, and they're covered under workers' comp, so those are all extra layers of protection for our families and clients. And we bring them in from everywhere. I've had people from California doing cases in Rhode Island for me. That's how far away we get them from.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
good for you. What are some of the costs associated?
It's actually very, very cost effective. You can have a caregiver move into the home and take care of all of those things. They'll do medication setup and reminders, all of those things that are required to keep you safe. They are there for less than $300 a day, and we only have a 2-week minimum. So if you have someone that might be a primary caregiver for their loved one, and they need a break, they need to recharge the batteries, they want to go on vacation or just take a breather, we'll step in for those short period cases. And we also have a lot of long-term cases. When I started in 2019, there was a woman that retired, and she had been on one case for 17.5 years.
Wow.
So yeah, we do everything from long, short, and in between.
Wow, building relationships there, definitely.
They
It probably
certainly
became
become
like
part of the family. Yes, they do.
Definitely.
Yes.
One other thing, do you accept insurance?
We accept long-term care insurance. Usually it's an automatic bank draft from a checking or savings account, and they can pay by credit card as well. It does go up slightly on the daily fee to offset the cost on that for us on our end, but we do take it.
That's great. Now, what about the caretakers? What are some of their tasks that they do?
A typical day would be similar to in a facility, only it's a different type of flow. In a facility, you try to be as patient-centric as possible, but it's based on a communal setting. So the whole staff comes in at a certain time. Everybody has to be to breakfast by a certain time, lunch by a certain time. At home, it's a lot different. A caregiver, the client might get up at 5 in the morning, they might get up at 11 o'clock in the morning. So they'll get the client up, get them toileted, fed, cleaned, situated, make sure that they're safe. They might throw a little laundry in, clean the house, whatever the case might be. But they basically take care of all of the needs in the home to keep everyone safe.
Sounds wonderful. And they're working on the person's time frame. It's not like they're bringing a schedule to them.
I actually think that that is one of the secrets to the success, the fact that they're doing it based on not just what the client needs, but also the flow of their individual home,
Right.
which I think is one of the key factors.
Now, I think you did touch upon it, but is there a minimum time frame that somebody would need?
Just 2 weeks is the minimum. Again, we've had a lot of longer term cases than that, but 2 weeks is the minimum because it does take a lot of effort, energy, and resources to get people from across the country to someone's home and then back again after the case is over.
Sure.
So,
I know one thing that people run into, they work now, and their parents need to get to doctor's appointments. They can't take the time off from work, yet it's necessary to get to the appointment.
Right.
Will the caregivers go to a doctor's appointment?
absolutely. They're not just doctor's appointments. If they have a barbershop, hair salon, sometimes the family might call up and say, hey, can you bring mom to my house this weekend? We're having a graduation party. And sometimes the clients will get up, especially in certain areas where you're closer to the water like we are, and they'll just say, hey, you know what? It's a beautiful day. Let's take a ride down the beach. I'd love to see the ocean. So it's really whatever the client needs.
That's great.
Yeah.
What areas do you cover?
We cover all of New England, where every New England state we have people up as high as the Canadian border. So we cover everything.
Now, is there anyone who follows the case once it begins?
Absolutely. There's another nurse that I work with. She is local. She covers everything out in the field. She's been a nurse for coming up on 34 or 35 years. She's been a director of nurses as well. She has worked in home care. She's solid as a rock, and her team follow the cases from the moment the caregiver is placed up until whenever the case might end and everything in between.
That's great. You have a lot of longevity in your company.
We do. We do. We have some great people that I've gotten infinitely more positive responses from families about how that they've really changed the lives of the people being able to stay home and still have a fulfilling life.
That's great. It really is. What types of cases do you typically have?
We do everything, a wide variety. The cost doesn't change based on medical complexity. We have everything from companion level all the way up to I've done ALS with no purposeful movement. I work with hospice agencies, hospitals, skilled nursing facilities, assisted livings, physical therapy, you name it. All of the different organizations and options out there for people, we help supplement to keep the people home.
Wow, that's great. You're really entrenched in the community.
We try,
It's nice
absolutely.
to see. If somebody wanted to get in touch with you, how would they do that?
The best way to reach me is on my cell phone at 401-408-9183, or they can shoot me an email at kevin.williams@fcplivin.com.
Okay, great. At the end of the show, we'll flash your information so they can see it again.
Thank you.
But I like to end the show with 3 questions.
Uh-oh, okay.
Okay, you ready?
Ready.
The first question is, tell us a fun fact about you.
Okay. Listen, fun fact about me. Well, I taught martial arts for over 30 years. I was inducted into the Martial Arts Hall of Fame in 2003, and it's something that I love to do, and I've also, I think it's kind of helped form me as, just in general as a human being. It's helped enhance my life.
That's fantastic. Very good.
Yeah, thank you.
Another question is, we love pets on the show, animals. Do you have any pets?
I do. I have a little dog. He's a little bit of a maniac, but got him during the pandemic. So, you know, he wasn't around a lot of people for a long period of time. So still trying to acclimate him to humans and other things going on. But yeah, he's about a 16-pounder and
What's
beautiful.
his name?
His name is Lambert. And a funny story. The shelter that I got him from, Miranda Lambert, had donated money to this shelter, so when he and his sister were born, it was Miranda Lambert.
Oh.
So Miranda was already gone, we wound up getting Lambert, and we still have him to this day.
Isn't that great?
Yeah.
And then the final question, summer is approaching. Do you have any travel plans for the summer?
I actually just came back. I go to Mexico every year on vacation. It's one of my favorite spots. I've been going there for probably 30 years. It's beautiful, the people are friendly, the food is delicious, the beaches are gorgeous. So I just came back from 2 weeks. I have nothing scheduled later on in this summer. I'm hoping by the end of the year, maybe towards the holidays, I might try to take
another
some time.
trip.
Yeah.
Well, that's fantastic. Kevin, I'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show today. You really shared a lot of your wealth of knowledge that you have with us.
I appreciate you being here with me.
And thank you for joining and tuning in with us today. Until next time, have a great day.